Alright, this week's reflection is the in real life disciplinary literacies. The prompt was for me to observe in a setting where people are using the literacies of your discipline outside of the classroom. I was supposed to observe long enough to be able to respond to the prompts below, which I'll cover. It says create a text that represents the literacies in practice in this community. The first thing that I had done was create a survey using SurveyMonkey. I don't know if you guys have ever seen this before, but it's a really neat online survey where you can enter your own question and answers and then send it out for people to take for free. And so what it is I created a series of 8 questions regarding people's physical and health education and then their current level of fitness and what they use as far as their education went now. I want to focus on the third question that I had asked, and I first gave the definition of a physically literate person. I said, read the following definition of a physically literate person. Individuals who are physically literate move with competence and confidence in a wide variety of physical activities in multiple environments that benefit the healthy development of the whole person. And then I asked, where was the last time that you demonstrated physical literacy in the past 2 weeks? Now, for the responses of what they could choose from, I got that from the 3 areas that I had observed for the prompt. I observed at the fitness center, so a gym, health club. I observed in a school, and so at Metcalf, so the school classroom, and then a sporting event, which was the ISU basketball game that I attended. And so it looks like 57 people answered, and 73% used physical literacy most at a gym and health club. Now the question asked, describe the setting where you observed, where were you, who was there, and what were they doing? So at the gym and health club there were participants working out, lifting weights, running on treadmills, using machines, reading scales and monitors, and changing weights. In the classroom and at the school, the kids were at recess, they were in physical education class, specifically playing pickleball. They were playing on equipment, using rackets and balls, learning tactics, and playing the game with respect. And lastly, the sporting event was the ISU basketball game. There were fans there watching that had to have sport literacy, and players using all kinds of skills, running plays, etc. Alright, so the next question, or the first question was, what kind of special knowledge did the participants have to have? If there were experts and novices, or experts in different parts of the process or activity, how did the different people share knowledge? Did they create new knowledge? I want to start with the participants at the fitness center. And so these people at the fitness center had to have knowledge of the type of workout and the results that they desired from that workout. They had to have the knowledge of the equipment, changing of weights, setting appropriate times and difficulties on the machines. And then the different gym members were all acquiring different results, so there wasn't much interaction between, say, the aerobic folks that were working out and the anaerobic goers, although some overlapped between, say, the weight room and the cardio room. And so I want to go to my question number 5 on my survey. And I had asked, how comfortable do you feel entering a gym or health club for the purpose of working out? I had 67 people answer, and about 80% of those said that they would have no problem doing so. I do want to note, though, that there were 14 respondents that said they weren't comfortable at all, or if they wouldn't go on their own. And so I think that's kind of important to note, because I feel like it's our job, especially the PE educators, to make sure that these students are getting the information that they need to become physically literate, so that they will go to the gym by themselves once they leave your classroom. There's not always going to be a certain time or someone telling them exactly what to do, so they need to feel competent enough to pursue that on their own. So then for the school and classroom, the students had to meet all 3 domains, the psychomotor, cognitive, and affective. The students had to have appreciation for the teacher, the space, and the equipment. They had to have knowledge on the skills and tactics, and they had to have a wide variety of skills. And now this, to answer the question if there were experts and novices, for sure, in every class there's more skilled students, and so what I observed was that there were more skilled students helping out the less skilled students, and I think a lot of learning occurred there through that student interaction as well as teacher feedback. And the last environment was the sporting event at the Illinois State basketball game. The fans had to have enough sport knowledge to understand the game. Now, here at the collegiate level of athletics, players are probably as proficient as they're going to become. And so while most of the skill is formed, there's always stimuli in a game setting that can never be predicted that the students have to adapt to. So that was something there. Alright, so for the next question, I want to start with my question number 4 on my survey. I asked, would you consider yourself competent in reading text within the content area of physical and health education? And I gave some examples: rules, diagrams, plays, regimens, equipment manuals, demonstrations, medicine bottles, etc. Just for fun, we can take a look. 66 people had answered, and about 65 of those said that they did consider themselves competent. 30% said some but not all, and about 5% said no, that they weren't. And I think that's just kind of interesting that most people claim that they had demonstrated physical literacy on one of the 3 locations, but even though they may do that, say at the gym, they could be missing parts of a whole encompassing physical literacy or health literacy, such as reading food labels or medicine bottles. So anyway, the question was, what kinds of text were used and how? Were they shared? Were they used for special purposes? And were they made? And so to start out, those at the fitness center had to use text such as the equipment, the diagrams maybe on a machine, the workout regimens that they probably had pre-planned, and possibly equipment manuals. The students in the classroom had to use the text such as rules, the equipment, the paddles and the balls that they use, the strategic plays that the teachers were trying to teach them, and then the demonstrations that they had to watch the teacher complete. And lastly, the sporting event, again, the equipment, the rules, and the strategic plays were used by the athletes. So, all of the text, they were all used by each individual participating in all 3 locations. And so the texts were used for completion of the certain task that was desired to be completed. And then I think it's important to note that some of these texts are abstract, such as the plays, the workout regimens, and rules, while some of them are concrete, such as the equipment manuals and diagrams. Alright, so the last question asks, how did observing in this setting help you think about teaching related concepts and practices in your content area? How might you support or recreate similar authentic literacy experiences in your classroom? And I think more than anything, physical literacy is most easily observable in settings outside of the school. I said this was good for me in that it allowed me to see what knowledge is being used on a daily basis for those students leaving my classroom into the real world. And so I said it would be wise to spend most of my teaching in those areas which students can apply once they have graduated. This would be done by aligning my curriculum and daily outcome goals to those that are relevant to their fitness in the real world. And so that is all that I have for you. I will post the link to my survey underneath of here so that you guys can take a look at all the questions if you want to, or take the survey yourself. That would be great. And I will also post the questions that will lead your response to my post. Good luck.